This is This Week in Carson Newman Baseball here with head coach Tom Griffin. I'm Michael Watchering, and coach, we've talked a lot about the offense so far this season, but the pitching has really not only kept you in games, but helped you win some of these games early in the season.
Yeah, it's definitely our strength. We knew that going in. Starting pitching and what we saw with the relievers the last 4 games has really been encouraging. We knew that it was strong. It's this part of the year been very good for us. And this weekend, obviously, you know, we get to use Dustin Dunnigan, Vince Apicelli, and Quentin Yoakum will start tomorrow. And the fact that we got to play yesterday and throw some more guys, I think, is very helpful for us.
You look at the offense, and Cody Fox has been solid all around and really been the guy offensively that has been there every game. 4-game hitting streak to start the season. What has it been about his approach at the plate that has led him to be so successful?
Well, that's a good question. I think, you know, he's a very confident kid. He's strong. You know, when you're strong and hitting, sometimes fundamentals don't have to be good. And if you're having a bad day and fundamentals and you're not linked up from your top to bottom half, strength can overcome those type of deficiencies. And so that's an advantage he has. He is a strong kid, but he's an experienced kid as well with a lot of at-bats under his belt. I think some of the other guys in the lineup, he's kind of been the glue, like you said, and everyone has kind of contributed a little bit along the way. And again, we just wanted to get contagious with all the guys in our lineup.
On the other end of the spectrum, Bo Osmus has skittered at the beginning of the season. I think just 2 hits here to start the year. Is he maybe putting a little too much pressure on himself, or what has it been about his approach?
Pitch selection. You know, there's an anxiousness for guys at all times to want to get started and get that first hit out of the way in a game. And I think it's been more pitch selection on his part and a little bit of anxiousness, but no pressure at all. He doesn't feel that type of pressure. I don't think any of our guys feel that. Any pressure they feel is whatever a kid naturally puts on themselves while they're playing the game. Nothing more than that. He's too good a hitter and someone that he will find his rhythm. The more pitches he sees, the key is having other guys in that lineup, like we've talked about yesterday, Peter and Tipton and the guys that had multiple hits. Some other people have to find ways to win games. It can't just be one guy. It's got to be different guys in a lineup to be able to generate offense for us.
Seems like we've been on the bus this entire first week, and now all of a sudden SAC conference play starts. Brevard tomorrow and this weekend. What do you expect from the Tornadoes, and what do you remember from last year?
Well, I believe Coach McKay does a phenomenal job. I know what he's done with that program is tremendous. I think they're very disciplined. They play hard. They're well coached. A couple of years ago, he had that club finished 4th in a conference where everyone had him picked near the bottom. Had a kid drafted in the early rounds last year. The talent level is good, but the main thing is they're well coached. He's a good guy. I love competing against him because he's good people and the kids play the game the right way. Last year it was very good battles with them, and we know we're going to get the same. They were able to play yesterday, so at least they got a game under their belt. But playing at home is nice. The weather looks like it will be what we've been practicing in all the time, so we're used to these whatever conditions they'll be. But we know it's going to be competitive. Every team in our conference is competitive. There is parity throughout, and you know, we expect a good battle, no question.
You mentioned that in the non-conference you try not to do too much scouting, try not to do too much tweaking. How much do you do in the conference play and as you try to remember last year?
Well, you know, kids change so much. I think, you know, what we saw last year, that whatever scouting reports we have or whatever we saw from them last year, the kids change so much from year to year. You don't know if, you know, if there was a kid who had trouble with off-speed pitches, chances are that's been changed and he's made some adjustments. So I think as the game goes on, you get a feel of how you have to pitch people or get a feel of what their pitcher is all about. It's kind of like, I guess, like car racing. You have to make adjustments on the run. You know, as the race is going on, there'll be some changes you have to make through the course and the flow of the game. And I think that's what we talk about with our guys with adjustments. You know, what we see in the first 3 innings might be different in the last 3 innings, depending on pitchers. It might depend on a lot of conditions outside of ourselves. So I know the one thing with Coach Matt over there at Brevard is fundamentally they're going to be good. They're not going to make many mistakes, and they're going to compete. That's just his personality, what he brings to the table. So I think they're very similar to us in a lot of ways. You know, they play the game of baseball, and they play it the right way.
Best of luck this weekend, Coach.
Thank you very much, Michael.
For head coach Tom Griffin, I'm Michael Watchering. We'll have the broadcast tomorrow at 2 o'clock and the doubleheader Saturday at noon and 2. This was SeeingEagles.com.